In West Cumbria, we have a tough challenge to meet. For over 100 years, Ennerdale Water has been the main supply to all the towns in West Cumbria, including Cockermouth, Whitehaven and Egremont. But now Ennerdale has reached the limits of its capacity. But why are Ennerdale and the River Ian so important? In typical weather conditions, there is enough water for both the natural environment and the public water supply. But during longer dry spells, United Utilities has to strike a balance between taking just the right amount of water from Ennerdale to supply our customers, whilst leaving enough water going downstream to keep the River Ian flowing. Ennerdale and the Ian are highly sensitive water habitats. They are home to England's largest and healthiest remaining population of a rare animal species, freshwater mussels. This endangered animal is protected by a European-wide law, and to comply with it, the Environment Agency has to remove United Utilities' permissions to take water from Ennerdale by 2022. So the challenge is this: we need to stop taking water from Ennerdale altogether and build a more sustainable water supply for everyone in West Cumbria. So how will we do this? United Utilities are to construct a 100-kilometre pipeline which will run from the Thirlmere Reservoir to the water network in West Cumbria via a brand new water treatment works. Thirlmere is one of the Northwest's main sources of water, and this new pipeline will enable us to continue to support our domestic and business customers in West Cumbria well into the future. The West Cumbria Water Supplies project will take us through some of England's most pristine and treasured countryside. Our ecologists have surveyed the pipe route and identified all the local wildlife that we need to protect from the works. From Atlantic salmon to zebra spiders, the region is home to many rare and protected plants and animals, including mammals, insects, amphibians, reptiles, mollusks, fish, important trees and plants, and over 50 species of bird. Each of them has their own interest groups looking out for their well-being, and none more so than the freshwater mussel. But why are these particular animals so important? Freshwater mussels are known as an indicator species, which means that their presence in a river tells us the water is usually in pristine condition. But over the last 100 years, human activity has caused the quality to worsen, and the mussels are now at risk of extinction in England, which is why the European Parliament has passed laws to protect them. Since this project is partly about helping them, it's useful to know a bit about them. For example, did you know that freshwater mussels are the UK's longest lived animal and can live for over 100 years? They feed by filtering the water. One animal can clean up to 50 litres of water every day. Like a living water treatment works, they actually improve the quality of the water they live in. And so they play a key role in the life cycle of several fish, such as sea trout, brown trout, and Atlantic salmon. So by protecting them, we help protect the entire river ecosystem. In order to get permission to proceed with this project, we have had to consult extensively with many stakeholders. Throughout 2015, United Utilities held 3 phases of public exhibitions, meeting with many concerned residents, land users and businesses from the local communities. Listening closely to their feedback, we have taken immense care to adjust the West Cumbria supplies route to avoid as much environmental risk as possible. Our responsibility now is to meet the expectations we've set and keep the promises we've made. This is a highly visible project in a very sensitive environment with a lot of stakeholder attention. The highest risk from pipe laying projects is from mud, silt, fuels, cement, or other harmful substances escaping into watercourses and causing pollution. This is usually caused when these liquids run across the surface of the working area, which is easily spotted. Far worse is when they go into land drains and, without us knowing, is then discharged to an out-of-sight watercourse. To reduce this risk, we will be restricting construction on strip turf to the drier seasons, from late spring to early autumn, in order to avoid working on muddy ground. But as we all know in Cumbria, rain is possible at any time of the year, so some risk will always be there on this project. United Utilities contractors will develop an Environmental Control Plan, or ECP, which contains method statements that ensure work activities are carefully planned to minimise risks. Before any work can begin, All site staff will be given a full induction by the site agent, summarising health, safety and key environmental information. Our environmental advisors will also explain the detail of any environmental risks that are important to each working area to the construction teams in a series of toolbox talks. These talks will explain, amongst other topics, the importance of all the different types of fencing you will see along the project, such as hedgerow and tree root protection zone fencing, temporary amphibian or newt fencing, silt fencing, exclusion fencing around invasive weeds. The positioning of each type of fencing has been carefully planned and is in place for good reason, to contain the project and protect important natural features. The West Cumbria Supplies project is one of the biggest in United Utilities history. It's a project that will have a long-lasting legacy for the whole of Cumbria, and we will work hard to ensure it's a good one, done with the utmost respect for our environment. We are proud to be working in one of England's most beautiful landscapes, and we are committed to keeping it that way.